In this video, we introduce our NUCCA tools. How to load images and activate NUCCA tools. Please load the desired images into the DICOMPAX viewer via Search for Archived Images in section Management. In order to calculate all listing information and the 4 elements correctly, at least the Nasium and the vertex shot have to be in the same study. Now please activate the NUCCA tool by clicking on this icon in the Annotation section of the toolbar. In the viewport, you can now choose the proper projection for each image. The chosen projection now will appear on the preview image in the navigation bar. After starting with the measurements, you will also find a blue bar visualizing the progress of all measurements of each view on the preview images. The lateral view. Click on the lateral view in the navigation bar and apply projection lateral if not already done. Activate the S-line tool. Set the first point where the lateral arch of C1 meets the posterior arch by clicking on the image. Then set a second point on the posterior arch. You can always change the order of picking the points. The horizontal aberrancy of the S-line will be shown in the raw data box in the lower left part of the viewport. The hard palette line. Activate the hard palette line tool. Mark a spot on the hard palette and mark a second spot on the hard palette. The horizontal aberrancy will be shown in the raw data box. Annotations can be edited in Edit mode. In this mode, every annotation has got a little context menu that can be accessed with a little wrench icon. In this context menu, you can change the color of each annotation. Many annotations and all templates can be adjusted further. Just to give a small sample, you can set the axial circle to the desired value, hide and show the measurements in the raw data box, edit the values of the 4 elements, and much more. You can always activate the edit mode temporarily by holding down the Alt key. To delete single annotations, use Delete in the context menu or switch on the Remove Annotations tool and click on the measurements you wish to erase. All annotations will be automatically saved by unloading the images or by closing the program. You do not have to worry about lost measurements. All measurements will be loaded when reopening the study. Activate the Nasium view by clicking on the respective image in the navigation bar. Choose proper projection if not already done. First activate the Atlas Plane Line tool. Mark the 2 points where the lateral mass meets the inferior portion of the posterior arch of C1. The Atlas Plane Line will be drawn and the horizontal aberrancy will appear in the raw data box. Now activate the Atlas Checkline tool and mark the 2 points where the lateral mass meets the superior portion of the posterior arch of C1. The Atlas Checkline will be drawn and the deviation and side of convergence between Atlas Plane Line and Atlas Checkline will appear in the raw data box as APL-ACL. With the Squamous Sutures tool, you can mark the squamous sutures and as many pairs of lateral aspects of the upper skull as you wish. In the context menu, you can define how the marked spots will appear, as dots, circles, crosses, or arrows. Click on the Central Skull Line tool. You are now able to adjust the cephalometer to the skull in 2 different ways. The first way is to hold down the Alt key. Adjust the cephalometer with the mouse by dragging and dropping it in the desired position. You can also change the rotation point in this way. Rotate the template by dragging it around the rotation point. You can change the size of the template in the context menu underneath the template. The second way to adjust the cephalometer is to use the keyboard. Use the arrow keys to move the template in the 4 directions. Keep the Control key pressed and use the arrow keys to rotate the template and to move the rotation point. When you additionally keep the Shift key pressed while taking those actions, they will be done in smaller steps. Use Control and the plus and minus keys to adjust the size of the cephalometer. When you have adjusted the template, you can either draw the central skull line by hitting Return, or you can set points in the center of the template by clicking with the mouse near to the central cephalometer line. Then you are able to move the cephalometer up and down in steps of 1/8 of an inch by using the arrow keys. The rotation point will stay vertically fixed on the image. Change the rotation point as mentioned before. The central skull line will then be drawn by switching off the tool or by hitting Return. The 4 elements and the listing information will be inserted into the image. You can edit all calculated values anytime via the Edit mode. If you would like to adjust the central skull line to the set points, use the little squares on the central skull line in the Edit mode. With the activated Plane Line tool, you can mark the lateral aspect of the jaw where it intersects the atlas plane line on the opposite side of laterality. Mark the lateral aspect of the jaw on the side of the laterality. Now the line will be shortened. The measured distance will be shown in the raw data box. The plane line value has already been calculated automatically in the 4 elements box. If you would like to change the calculated value, follow the procedure just as described. The condylar circle tool. There are 2 different ways to draw the condylar circle. Therefore, we created 2 different tools, the 3-point condylar circle and the 4-point condylar circle. We are now showing the procedure for the 4-point condylar circle, but you're more than welcome to try the other tool and just leave out one of the second points. Mark the lateral aspects of the condyle. Then mark 2 points along the condyle. The calculated condylar circle will be shown on the side of laterality. You can change the shown value in Edit mode via the context menu right underneath the shown value. Activate the Axial Circle tool. Mark the lateral aspects of the axial surface. Then mark the medial aspects of the axial surface. The axial circle will be calculated and shown on the side of laterality. You can set the shown value to the closest whole numbers in the context menu in the Edit mode. C/A in the listing is calculated automatically when you have both C and A. You can also change the values with which C/A is calculated in the context menu of the 4 elements. You can show the circumscale template anytime to double-check the condylar and axial circles. In the context menu, you can define from which to which diameter you wish to see the circle segments. You can reset the template's position, let it appear transparent, and rotate it by 180 degrees. With the arrows in Edit mode, you can also rotate the template. Use the grid to double-check the position of the set points of the axial circle. The grid will be inserted, adjusted to the atlas plane line, but you can also move and rotate it. Activate the Center of Odontoid tool. Mark the lateral aspects of the dents. The odontoid center will be inserted. You can also draw the odontoid center as a single point by just double-clicking or by setting one point and switching off the tool. With the intermastoid line tool, you are able to mark the inferior tips of the mastoid processes on each side of the skull. The angle between the imaginary intermastoid line and the central skull line will be shown in the raw data box in the lower part of the image. Now switch to the vertex view. First, activate the Odontoid Center tool. Mark the lateral aspects of the odontoid. The odontoid center line will be drawn. With the C2 axial canal tool, you mark the superior lateral portion of the C2 canal. Only 2 points are required to draw the vertex square. You can also draw splines by clicking on the C2 canal on each side. Finish the drawing by hitting Return, double-clicking or switching off the tool. You will find the spinous measurement in the raw data box as SPV. You can also verify the measurement by using the relatoscope template. The relatoscope will be automatically matched in its size with the measured or chosen condyle circle value, and it will be adjusted to the odontoid center line and the spinous. You can also adjust the size via the context menu by yourself, or move and rotate the template to the desired position. Now go back to the Nasium view. First, activate the relatoscope. The template will be inserted, adjusted to the already measured center of odontoid. Move the relatoscope to the spinous process of C2. Now activate the spinous tool. Draw a point the same distance and the opposite direction from that shown in the vertex view. You can find the value in the raw data box. Now you can easily adjust the set point in the edit mode. The superior point on the Nasium view will be inserted automatically after determining the center of odontoid and setting the spinous. The corrected odontoid will be used if the odontoid is malformed. The inferior point and corrected inferior point. Mark 2 lateral aspects of C7. Press Return, double-click the second point or switch off the tool to finish the drawing after the second point. Alternatively, you can also set a third point to create a corrected inferior point like this. Setting the third point auto-finishes the drawing. The lower angle line between the inferior and superior point will be inserted automatically. You will find the measurement of the lower angle in the raw data box. The vertical axis through the inferior point will also be drawn automatically. The angular rotation will be shown in the raw data box. Now switch back to the vertex view and click on the Vertex Atlas Line tool. Mark the transverse foramina of the atlas with 3 points on each side. The C1-C2 relationship and the side of convergence will be shown. Activate the Superior Point tool. Mark the nasal structures with several points on each side. To finish the drawing, double-click, hit Return or switch off the tool. Simply click on the referring icon and the inferior point will be set automatically. The vertex scar line will be inserted automatically when you move the mouse, and the atlas rotation will appear in the raw data box. If you wish, you can move the inferior point in the Edit mode. In addition, you can insert as many vertex checklines as you like. Just mark several lateral aspects of the scar. You have now finished the NUCCA procedure. This is shown by the blue progress bars on the preview images to the left. Please keep in mind that you can edit all 4 elements and the listing information manually. Just switch into Edit mode and click on the little wrench icon in the lower part of the 4 elements box. This is where you can find all editable values. You can also always reset them to the calculated ones. You can find all measured values in the raw data box. In the Edit mode, you can show and hide each measurement. For helpful hints during the process, there's a drop-down menu in the top left-hand corner of the working area. This guides you through the next steps, provides keyboard shortcuts and additional information. Thank you very much for listening. We hope that you will enjoy working with our software.